Alright, God, I can't believe I did this backwards again. This is when I'm doing these in a lump like this. I just have a whole chunk of episodes to do at one time. I'm like writing it in a specific order, doing it backwards, but it actually worked out better the last time the way that I had it, where it was kind of more chronological in order. This one is once again backwards because it's written as episode 17, but it's actually episode 18. So welcome to the show, Cult of Doom Podcast, episode 18. We're going to have some pretty good stuff here for you guys. I'm going to be just basically advertising for all these cool products that I do. You can donate to me and the show, help me to support this stuff with obviously a cause that I freaking believe in. And these are going to be metal consumer products, metal music consumer products, and some interesting stuff that has come out with the artists, some of the legends in the industry that are making some pretty cool products and where to find them. There's also going to be a couple more recent news that I've come across, and then it'll be really actually a quick and tidy one here, and hope you guys enjoy, while I also realize at the same time that I completely freaking spaced out, didn't even get into the socials last episode. So maybe because this one's kind of super tidy and short, I can fill some of that with helping navigate, direct you guys towards where to find my socials, and Twitter being the best way to find a hashtag and send me donations, help keep the show running, and help keep freaking live with making the product that I'm working on. So let's over here on episode 18 of Cult of Doom. Alright guys, this is I'm gonna show you guys the list of consumer products that are made by metal artists and legends and heavyweights in the industry. Starting with my favorite band, as we have kind of, I don't know if I had mentioned this before, but the reason why I always mention Scars and Guitars podcast is mostly because of that's how I found it. Was through their Chronicles of Filth, or in the book that's written about it. Literally all the people involved in that huge project that have been interviewed on that show, from previous artists to photographers and stage designers and all this stuff, and just the huge, it's the only band that has the skill of people involved in that project. And even I should even do just like a whole episode on that. I think it would help out a lot. But really, the interesting thing about all these products I'm going to show you today are that these are all really my favorite bands as well. So it just helps that they do things other than make music, that I can have stuff to show you and products that you can buy. So starting off with Cradle of Filth, they have a beer called the King Chaos and Paler Ale that you can buy on cradleoffilth.com, and it has like probably to get imported from EU. So if you're gonna be one of the personalities before me, you know how you have to work with the euros or pounds or something like that, and then how you can pay a US dollar for it. And that would be cool, but it's not like it can't happen. I don't need any dough here. That's just not gonna fly. I'm not gonna allow that. So getting the freaking beer, King Chaos and Paler Ale, in the spirit of technically the most recent album, even though the most recent album is a live album with 2 new tracks on it. This one is the album before that with the song Crawling King Chaos, and the beer being King Chaos Paler Ale, as opposed to the Pale Ale, and the usual Cradle of Filth style with playing on words. And if you've ever purchased one album before, you can look on the album art or the brochure, the booklet that comes with the album, and see where the drummer is described as this. Ashok is described as this, and it'll have play on words, like the drummer's being introduced as like something wicked way drums, as opposed to something wicked this way comes in. Stuff that it's a usual play on words. So that's definitely not it. But King Chaos and Paler Ale can be found on Cradle of Filth, also available there. Well, wait, before I move on, I think it's released through Venom Brewing. So you find it on the website. It probably gets ordered Venom Brewing. So don't be discouraged as well. You get redirected to that website in order to purchase this product. Moving on to the other product here is tea. That's called Cruel Tea. So it's another play on words, and that's also a reference to another album, Cruelty and the Beast, where you can get cruel tea. And so, I am so fucking all about this. I need that fucking tea, I need that fucking beer. And you can find this stuff on cradlefilth.com. If you're wondering before you go and look into this, if you're wondering which kind of tea it is, it's not in the bag. I think it's whole leaf. So you would need like a tea steeper, where you put tea leaves inside a tea steeper, and then you can brew and drink your tea that way. Everything here is beverage or food here. There's one food even, like a food. It's like an entire restaurant too. So get into that. But these are the first one, that knocks down first one, for cradlefilth.com, offering King Chaos and Paler Ale and Cruel Tea. Next up, we have Behemoth and their coffee. There's different kinds of coffee, lots of different kinds of coffee. Comes with all kinds of cool like stickers and posters and all kinds of cool stuff. And just look into the more. I don't know much about that, considering it's coffee, and there's another one that's coffee made after this. But you can find that at behemoth-store.com, and then it's where you'll probably search for coffee. I just cross-referenced what I'm saying through simple Google search, so you could even just blast this stuff into Google if you need to, if you're really busy or something like that, and get your coffee. Next up, we have Cannibal Corpse coffee that is offered to another company as well, with a similar appeal that has the badass artwork, a similar appeal to the first two. The artwork is badass and all this. The Behemoth coffee is just not the Behemoth logo, nothing real crazy on it or anything. It's a really simplistic style design. The Cannibal Corpse coffee obviously have really more big gory depictions on it, and as is typical and usual for that band. There's plenty of freaking hype around this. I think it's coming to Kansas actually too. There's plenty of hype around this that I found through probably one of my Discovery newsicals, and then through their Cannibal Corpse official Instagram, and this is the only one so far that's American. These others are going to be American. Those other 3 products, the coffee from Behemoth, the tea from Cradle of Filth, and the from Cradle, are European. So if you're gonna run into any trouble, let me know, you guys, on what you did to overcome that, because I don't think I could see anything stopping me just because it's from Europe and they have to ship it overseas, something like that. But for the Cannibal Corpse coffee, you got badass artwork on there, and it's definitely stoked about that. I gotta try that out. I mean, I was on some stream, and somebody about it, and they're just like, I guess I was the only one that knew or something. Now you guys know. So Cannibal Corpse coffee you can find on Beheading and Brewing. Beheading and Brewing. Okay. Next up is something that I didn't talk about too in the last episodes. 10,000 Days just had a birthday, and the frontman band as well. So it's only right that the broadcast talk about his wine company. I have a couple things to say about this, actually. Considering that he's been featured on an Adult Swim special with Tim and Eric, I think, or something like that, from Tim and Eric's $1 movie and all this other stuff. He was featured on Adult Swim, Maynard, and his wine company is called Caduceus. It's Caduceus wine. He grows his grapes in Arizona of all places. There's a lot of stuff that I want to learn about this company, cause and really learn much more about Maynard than the person who he is through documentaries on YouTube that have two separate ones. One that has 3 parts. It's made by some other independent company or something like that. And then there's one that's actually, I think, produced and directed by Maynard. Whole one. They're 2 separate ones. So if you come across it and you say, it's a lot to take in or something like that, it's no big deal. You don't even need to say that. Just save it to your watch later playlist and then kind of like pick at these a little bit and soak up the inspiration that I got from it, because it certainly is well worth talking about. And it's going to be, one of them's by the name The Artwork. I think that's the one that has 3 parts. And then there's another one where you can just type in, that I haven't looked at it in a while, but it's still, because it's been quite a while, but if you just type in Maynard Caduceus wine, something like that, you should find them, and then make both artwork with 3 parts to it, and then the other one. The other one is actually far more in depth and cinematic, and has more kind of just well put together, organized, actual stuff. And then the Art of Work is more just like strictly business, strictly to the point, and all that kind of thing. But I'm definitely interested in trying some of this wine. It would be amazing to have a bottle of this Caduceus wine shipped to me, and then crack open, uncork that bitch, and fucking pour out a glass and toast to metal. I do that right now too. If you're fucking drinking, and right now it's Saturday night, so everybody should be fucking getting pre-game warmed up, ready for a good fucking night of drinking. It'll be a beer, wine, whatever, brandy, whiskey, vodka. But definitely wanted to make sure that I freaking had a whole section of this episode dedicated to this artist, this product that this artist is making, and how passionate that he is about it. And that's kind of the one thing that separates the other two. If I had to categorize the stuff, I mean, it's like that's the most meaningful one right there. If you're interested in giving money to a cause or something that has like a lot of meaning to it, that's the one. Moving on along here, trucking along, there is a lot to say about this artist. He is Matthew Keechi Heafy, the frontman of the long-standing band Trivium, where the products that you can find him advertising on his Twitch stream at Keechi Chaos on Twitch. Follow him on X. Follow him on Instagram. And find all the cool products that are available there, such as Keechi gear. There's like specialized guitar straps for your back in case you need one that's going to not give you back pain. He's a mixed martial artist, so he has a lot of stuff that he needs to take care of in terms of his back. So he has a specialized guitar strap as an example. And then other kind of like Twitch streaming gear that's available on Keechi gear. So just Google Keechi gear or find it and watch the Twitch stream. I could definitely use some more company and on the freaking Twitch stream when I'm watching, and it's like this big artist and this big name and big music and all this stuff, and he's world touring, and then the stream only has like 100 people or like 60 or 70 people. It has on average like 80 people watching the stream, and it blows my mind that there's not that many. So it really does blow my mind. There's only 80 people watching that stream, and the guy's touring the world. It makes no sense. I don't understand. I think everybody's just slow to getting to Twitch or something like that. But make sure you go and check that out. Check out the Twitch stream. Check out the Kichi gear. And then the products, the actual products for, food and beverages relevant here is the barbecue, Boxer and Clover is a restaurant in Miami, Florida that is co-founded and co-run by Matthew, and he's promoting a lot of the stuff that he's making there, like smoked meats. It's killer. It's awesome. There's barbecue rubs, spices, sauces, and a large biography available there that describes his passion and experience in culinary arts on the website. If you want to check that out, you can go to boxerandclover.com. Last but not least would be something that you check multiple facets of this artist. He's Randy Blythe, frontman of Lamb of God, and he has a photography hobby and photography passion where he has recently broadcasted on his Instagram casing of and curating of his photography. Other stuff that you want to find on how you might have come across this information would be on As the Palaces Burn documentary, as well as the other making of documentaries. There's 2 of them, making of the 2 albums, and make sure you go and check those out. And if you're into photography or into anything more creative, check that out. Is the last one, and it's not a food or beverage, but that is really definitely worth checking out. So next up, before I get into the closer, I want to make sure I do a little bit of self-promoting as well. On my second to last episode, I was mentioning I need an Etsy. That's because I do arts and crafts, I do painting, and I do drawing, and there is a premiere of my DeviantArt page coming in September. So I was kind of mentioning last episode that I don't have any deadlines for anything. What I do have a deadline for, based on not just things that are out of my control, then I create this deadline of September. My DeviantArt page is going to be premiered, and I'm going to have stuff on there for art that you can purchase my artwork on there on DeviantArt, but wait till September for that. If I do end up creating an Etsy or something like that, or if you do end up checking out any kind of live stream that I make with me making a post and standing off in some major metropolitan area selling stuff, or just anywhere at all, just with a stand selling some of my crafts and things like that, then make sure you show your support, drop a donation, hit the cash tag up with some cash, stuff like that. That's ways to support me. And you can also find other ways to support me on Twitter. My cash tag is available right on the top of my profile, and donations are made very easily available there. The Instagram's under construction, the YouTube's under construction, and the Twitch only has reruns of my podcast, both its previous and current incarnation. I don't know, like a 2 or 2.5 hour or 3 hour video or something like that. So that's enough about me. And closing off this episode here, I want to get into just only 2 news articles that I came across that I found on Metal Injection, where there's talk of a Ghost's new movie called Right Here, Right Now, and it's apparently going to be a film that's got some live, never seen before footage of performances. Obviously, the performances themselves have been seen, or I could be wrong. I'm not sure. I'll have to find out when the thing comes, because it would make sense that there would be. I was thinking to myself immediately upon reading this, I thought that there would make any sense. If there's never seen before live performance, or do they just have an open venue or something like that? and nobody was there and they just did a performance. I mean, it's possible. That is a possibility. That could happen. And the ways that it might actually be is probably just live performances that weren't released on video yet, or something like that. That's discouraging. I don't want to watch that until I see, because I wouldn't even have wrote it down or talked about it on here were it not for that. There's the chapter series where there's on YouTube available on Ghost's profile. There's chapters of like a loose plot and storyline with a bunch of stuff that has funny stuff on there, and just very interesting thespian and acting skills that are seen on there. So go and check it out. Go and check out Right Here, Right Now, the film. It certainly seems like something I want to watch. I mean, I'm sure it's probably just available on some streaming sites or something like that, not in theaters or whatever. But I'm certainly down to watch it, even though I'm not the biggest fan of Ghost at all. And last, but certainly not least, going as the same way we started, going back with Cradle of Filth and collaboration, is apparently going to be on the new album. The new album is set for release around next March. When Napalm asked them why it's taking so long, they said because they're on tour, and makes perfect sense. So, whatever. I mean, some of the singles will be released around September when they're going on tour again for the Australian Invasion on the 24th of September of this year, and they're going to be touring Australia with Infected Rain. And I just actually realized I think I didn't do Lena Scissorhands the entire time for the Women's History Month. If you checked out the Women's History Month episode 13 of my show, then you'd find a list of the Twitter thing that I did with every day having a woman of metal, woman of mythology, and I don't think I put Lena Scissorhands. Anyway, that about, and I'm gonna be saying goodbye to you guys for now, and then I shall see you next week where we'll get into some more Metal Hammer plus Guitar World and collective news, as there certainly won't be any more news personally from me aside from whatever is on the Twitch. So go, and you know where to find me on the socials, on Twitch, on Twitter, and then for now this all that I have for the socials, as the Instagram and YouTubes are under construction, and I do not really capital letters do not have any intention on redoing Facebook again. So thank you guys for watching. Make a Gemini, Vault of Doom, episode 18, signing out.